Hey everyone, so welcome back to another DVD overview. I have my Ottoman here. I moved things around yesterday just to kind of, switch things up. I do that once in a while, just move some things here and there. Try to get a little room in one area and, keep that same kind of space in the other and stuff like that. So basically, got my Ottoman right there. You can probably see that. So, there we go. I got the Ottoman right there. So I try to fit this back into focus. There we go. But yeah, the Ottoman here. And this one has a lot of DVDs and stuff in it. The other Ottoman, which is over on this section, basically the more brown, brown leather one, if you will. The more brown leather one. That has, I think, just my figures and stuff in there. Just a lot of my Transformer figures and stuff. Here I got a lot of movies. Now I might have some movies in there too, but I don't think so because I would know that basically because I know that that out of the figures I have, a lot of the figures are not where I would think they would normally be, or I would normally have them. So most of them are in there, and then I do have some movies in the excuse me, in the closet. Let me get some coffee here. I did a lot of resting yesterday. I don't know what hit me. I think maybe it was a lot of allergies or a bug or something. Or maybe it's just the fact that a lot of things are going on, and I'm on the verge of doing my dental appointment on Monday, and I do kind of have an idea, ladies and gentlemen, exactly what may happen. I'm looking all around, and I'm thinking it's either between a couple. It's up to what they tell me. It's up to what God's going to lead me into. But if I was to venture to guess based on what I've seen online and based on my own, personal teeth and everything, I think it's either going to be, a bridge on the bottom and maybe a bridge on top, basically to fill in certain gaps. Or it might be veneers, like in one section and then a bridge or something. Basically a lot of work that, would have to be done. But that's when they're going to do the impression and see, okay, where can we do the bridge and maybe a veneer or something like that. Or maybe even implants, we'll see. But if I have to go that route that a lot of people don't want to go, and that's basically take the teeth out, or at least the bottom ones, and put, false ones, but also salvage the top ones, and, so be it. What are we going to do? But anyway, with that said, let's get into this DVD overview, shall we? It's got a lot, so it might be split into a couple of parts. But they're all going to be on the playlist, same playlist that I've developed. But yeah, the Ottoman has a lot of movies here, so let's get started. And we're going to start with this one. This is the Steelbook edition of WrestleMania 23. I bought this at Walmart, and you can tell it's one of those that has a little back cover, if you will. It has a back cover with, says WrestleMania right there, as you can tell. That's basically what it is. But it's a back cover giving you all the matches and stuff, and it's one of those, steel books that, that you don't open. You do open. It's a steel book, but it's not the kind of steel book when you open it up. It's got the DVDs and all that right there. No, it's a steel book box, if you will. It's kind of like a container, steel book container, and then on the inside, tightly on the inside, if you will. And there's the plastic that was with it originally, but tightly on the inside, you have the DVD, which is nicely the logo, the name is nicely embossed, the headline matches are nicely embossed and everything, so that's pretty cool. And then on the inside, you got all of that right there, and then right there. So 3-disc set, pretty cool, pretty neat to have that in the collection. So I'll put that right over here for right now. Then next up, got this from Frank Hill. It's Frank, The Secret World of Og. It's a Hanna-Barbera classic. I think this was made, in the early 80s, 70s or something like that. I can't really remember. Guys, let me know in the description. But let me know in the comments. But this is The Secret World of Og, sent to me by Frank Hill. Pretty nice. And it was distributed by VEI Home Video. I think it was VEI or someone. Yeah, VEI Home Video. So Secret World of Og, Hanna-Barbera classic. Pretty nice. And then next, we have WrestleMania 22. Now, let you in on a little something here. Basically, long story short, I used to record a lot of the WrestleManias when I moved out on my own to Lawrence, Kansas. I did that for 17. Well, 17 I tried, but didn't do it, so I had to buy the VHS for that. But I did watch that live on pay-per-view. And then I did it for 18, but then after 18, and then I think what followed after, which was what? Backlash in Kansas City. I recorded that live. And then King of the Ring and all that. Those are the ones I recorded, but what happened afterwards, I think after King of the Ring 22, the cable outlet I had, even though I had HBO and all that, and I could do the pay-per-views with or without HBO, basically what happened is that the cable outlet, they started changing. This was at a time when things started to change, and essentially any opportunity to try to record pay-per-view was out the window, because now I was just with regular basic cable, because the wiring in my apartment complex had not been updated, or the people at my apartment complex, Prairie Ridge, had not been informed of, hey, we're doing this change in cable and everything, so you might want to consider ordering an upgrade to your cable system throughout the entire apartment building, so people could still watch pay-per-views or whatever. So yeah, they kind of changed up in 2022, it's summer, if you will, and thus what happened is I had to end up buying a lot of the WrestleMania, or renting a lot of the WrestleMania shows when they would come out on home video. So here we have the 3-disc collector's edition of WrestleMania 22, right here. This is the one where Cena and Batista first won the championship, so kind of cool to have. And there you go. You got both events on 2 discs, and then the 3rd disc is the Hall of Fame. So really nice to have that in the collection as we speak. Then next up, we have Tasmania. We have Tasmania, 13 episodes on 2 discs. This is season 1, part 1. This was sent to me by Frank Hill. I haven't had a chance to open it up yet. Probably do that later on. But yeah, this is based on a series they did on Fox Kids and then later Kids WB, where they spun Taz off into his own show. And believe it or not, this was after the original Tiny Toons Adventures, where Taz was a teacher, if you will, or basically in any kind of role they would put him in, but mainly a teacher, a mentor for Dizzy. And afterwards, they decided, okay, he's still very popular. And this was at a time Taz's popularity was like really taking off. So they said, okay, Taz is very popular. Let's give him his own show. And basically what they did is, the way it seemed to me, and this is just my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, but what they did basically is, it's like they split, it was a show that had 2 11-minute episodes. And the first one had Taz portrayed as a teenager, because of course he had a sister and I think a little brother, and he had parents, right? So anyway, long story short, it's like the first half was him as a teenager, and then the second half he was just basically Taz as we know him. So it was kind of, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that kind of felt like what felt like what was being done. Excuse me, kind of felt like what was being done with the show. But anyway, here we have a 2-disc set, pretty cool. Pretty cool. He gave me that. Then, the next thing he gave me, I think, was Don Bluth classic, Banjo the Woodpile Cat. Yeah, and I remember this. I do remember this one when it came out long time ago. I was young. It came on, I think, Disney Channel back in the mid-'80s. Early mid-'80s, if you will, like 84, 85, something like that. But I do remember watching it, and I really enjoyed it. And basically, this was like one of his first stories outside of working for Disney, because remember, he left Disney, ironically, the year of my birth, 1979. But basically, he and his team could venture off and do their own thing, and they did for a while very successfully. But anyway, to get to the point, he wanted to, him and his team wanted to venture off, do their own thing. and everything. Like I said, did it very successfully for a time. And one of the first things they did outside of Disney was Banjo, the Woodpile Cat. And this was a featurette that was shown, I think, before either a Disney film or before a family film by Universal Warner Brothers. But it was shown in theaters because it has the G rating, of course, right there. But very good classic, and it's got like commentary by Don Bluth, Gary Goldman, and John Perlman, and conversation with Don Bluth, you know, the story behind Banjo, of course. So this is, again, like I said, one of the first ones he did. I think this is around the same time he did Secret of Nim. So, you know, that, so basically, yeah, it's a classic, and if you haven't seen it yet, you could, I think you can find it on YouTube or Internet Archive. Check out one of those places. You should be able to find it. And then next up, we have another wrestling one. We have Diamond Dallas Page, Positively Living. This is a 3-disc documentary of the career of Diamond Dallas Page and everything. Has you know, interview on disc 1 and then disc 2. And then, of course, you got his matches and everything all the way up to disc 3, which is really, really cool to have in the collection and everything. And then this sign here, this thing that he does, I did that one time in high school. And I think one of the cheerleaders liked it, and they tried to get the crowd to do it as well, because it's like, hey, why not have a little bit of a symbol? Bang, you know? But yeah, I'll be back, guys. We're going to take a break here for a second.